What's good? Welcome back to another edition of Dat Talk Podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host with me.
It's your boy, man. Mr. Too Many Reasons himself. I'm starting to really like this Reasons name. I feel like it's starting to catch. I feel like it's going to be something I'm going to rock with and stick with. I appreciate you, Bake. You, bro, have been the one pushing the name. So I owe all that to you, my brother. I owe all that to you, man. You know, it's one of those things I want to give you flowers early. You feel me? It's one of those things. You my brother, man. Just want to give you flowers.
Anyway, I appreciate that. I didn't even know you think about changing your name, y'all. Y'all see what I got to deal with over here in Talk Nation? Here we talk about I'm going to stick with too many. What other name was you about to call yourself at the end of the day? But we got a lot to talk about today. And we're going to start with Doc Rivers and the Philadelphia 76ers in the elimination game tonight. Elimination game. We got to talk about Doc Rivers because he's been under scrutiny for the past few days about him blowing the biggest leads, the most biggest leads in NBA history. In the top five, he got four of them out of five.
Wait, bro. Hold up. Before you continue, he has the top five in the last two postseasons. We ain't even talking about the history of the league.
Yeah.
We just talking bubble and now. He has 5 of the 8 largest blown leads in the postseason. 5 of the 8. Sheesh. Listen. In baseball, they're called managers because they really don't do much. They manage the game. They when a pitcher is being beat up, they go to the pitcher and say, bring in somebody else. But first, the pitching coach goes out there first to talk to him. Mm-hmm. But when they want to do a switch, the manager goes out there. You feel me? He sends signals to the third base guy and they do stuff. But baseball is a very individualized sport. You know, they may do a couple of things where it's like a hit and run situation where they want you to swing or they want you to bunt. But for the most part, you control all that. In basketball, it's a team sport. And when we say full team, that means coaches included. That means the coaching staff included. Because at some point, someone supposed to step in and be like, hey, we got to do this differently to stop the bleeding. And when I'm looking at Doc Rivers, he never stops the bleeding. Anytime you on a Doc Rivers team, once you start bleeding, it's like Call of Duty. You about to head to the gulag, bruh. It's over. You was about to bleed out. Ain't no health coming, nothing. You're going to bleed out because not only is he infamous for blowing leads in games, he's Mr. 3-1 lead blower. He the reason why Tracy McGrady never won a first-round playoff game. Because why? He blew a 3-1 lead with Tracy McGrady. Then he blew a 3-1 lead with the Clippers. Then he blew another 3-1 lead with the now you feel like all he do is blow leads. That's him. Doc, blow leads, Rivers. Carry on.
Are you finished?
Hey, listen, that's Doc Blow Reed's Livers. What's his real name? Anything Glenn Rivers? You start calling that man Glenn. Call that man. His mama named him Glenn. I'm gonna call him Glenn.
Okay, we see where reasons are at. We see where he's at with it. I'm not blaming Doc Rivers. He gets about 10% of the blame because he's
10%.
Hold on. Can I finish? I didn't let you downplay this man. Say this 10%,
man. 10%, mate.
Can I finish?
Finish, bro.
Can I finish? Okay. I give Doc Rivers about 10%. And if you want to be on the good side, I give him 15, an extra 5. Okay. Here's my thing. You're up 26 points in the third quarter going into the fourth. In my opinion, as a coach, I put you in position to win games. All you got to do, I'm telling you, let's keep our competitiveness. Let's not take the foot off the gas. Let's continue to move the ball. Let's continue doing what we're doing. We should win this game. But at the end of the day, the players go out there and they got to make those plays. I can only do so much. Ben Simmons, 4 points, unacceptable. Tobias Harris, 2 points, unacceptable. Only person that scored. The only two people that scored in the second half was Joel Embiid and Seth Curry. So that's Doc Rivers too? You gonna blame Doc Rivers for that too? And here's my hold on.
Are you asking me a question?
Hold on. That was a hypothetical. I ain't done yet.
That was rhetorical.
That was a rhetorical hypothetical. I don't even want you to answer right now. God dang it! We always want to point the finger at the head guy instead of taking the criticism. And this is what I'm mad at too. None of the players took ownership for that debauchery. None of them took credit. They're like, "Oh, we just got to get right." No, you fumbled the bag not once, but twice. The same way you did it in Atlanta, you did it at the crib. So that is something with you mentally. A coach can only put you in position to win the games. You got to go out there and execute. Now, if you're not executing, then you can't go, "Well, it's the coach's fault. The coach did that." Because what he was doing put you up by 27, by damn near 30. If you continue to do what the coach telling you to do, you should be winning the game. Shouldn't be no issue. But here we go again. Players not living up to the expectations of what they're supposed to do. Ben Simmons is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. I know people said they should have put Ben Simmons on Trey Young. The score, here's my thing, man. The score should have never got that close in the first place where you have to make adjustments. That's my point. When you out here and you allowing the score, because what happened, I'm going to tell you what happened. Philadelphia players got sloppy, got lackadaisical, got big-headed, like this is easy, and it happens every time to all great teams. And then we always, it's the coach's fault. No, hell no. It's the player's fault because the coach is telling you, let's go. We see it so many times in high school sports, college sports, when the team that's supposed to win is dominating throughout the whole game. And sometimes every blue moon, you have that underdog who just gets this crazy momentum, and then everything just falls by the wayside. It just like, what the hell is going on? Everything crumbles. Everything crumbles, and it happened to Philly again. This is not a coach thing. This is a player thing because the players have to take it upon themselves. You just gave up an 18-point lead in Atlanta. Why the hell are you going to do the same thing at the crib? So I'm not giving Doc Rivers all that blame. I'm giving about 15%. I'm putting that blame on Joel Embiid. I'm putting that, no. I'm not putting that on Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid, even though he missed those 2 free throws at the end, that was big. The man is playing with one leg and he's giving you 37 points.
Is he on the court?
He's on the court, but I'm saying look, a torn meniscus is a torn meniscus.
It is. I've been there.
And even though you on the court, you're not 100%. So I don't care what people always like, if you're on the court, then you're going to play. No, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm giving you 37. You got Ben Simmons who's healthy, no injuries, only giving you 4 points. That is unacceptable. You got Tobias Harris, no injuries, and he's 100% giving you 4 points. That is unacceptable. So what is their excuse? That's getting a lot of those blame.
I got you. So as a coach, right? At some point, I have to come to the realization that I got somebody on the court that's not helping me win. So I need to bench Ben Simmons bum ass. That's how I look at it. As a coach, when it is when the things are, because I'm a coach, I've been there. I've never blown a 20-point lead in my coaching career. Never have. So I don't know how that feels. I have blown leads, but not 20-point leads before. So, but the thing is, as a coach, when things are starting to unravel, here's what the problem with the NBA is, right? And I've seen it on countless of occasions. Things start to unravel, and then you wait because you like, my team gonna figure it out. Yeah. So the league, right? So here's how it usually works. The league goes from like 26 to about 19. You still comfortable because you're like, man, that's 7 points, right? Then the league goes from like 19 to 13. But you have to think about that the league has technically went from 26 to 13. So when I'm talking about stopping the bleeding, that means a timeout needs to be called. That means an adjustment needs to be called. That means a play needs to be drawn up to where I know that we've been possibly calling this play that has gotten us a bucket. I need to tell Joel Embiid, look, all the fool we're these next 3 possessions, bro, You're getting the ball on the block, and I need you to do what Joel Embiid does. We're not bailing him out with, we're going to pass it around and do all that. No. That's what I'm saying when it becomes a Doc Rivers issue, because I'm looking at these series, even with the Clippers last year, it was never just, it was always, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. No, bro, do something to make sure your best players are doing something to stop the bleeding. And if it's not happening, you need to take people off the court. I've been a coach to where I have went through all 15 players on my team until I got 5 players to do what I need them to do. That's just the nature of the beast. We're in the playoffs, it can't be no feelings. It has to be, we're trying to win now, tonight. And I be feeling like Doc Rivers, because we all know what momentum is. Once the momentum ball get the rolling, it damn near ain't no stopping it, because I knew they was in trouble when John Collins hit a bank 3. I said, oh God. Once he hit the bank 3, you already, because bro, you play sports, you know. It just takes one thing to you be like, yeah, this ain't gonna turn out too good. And like me, Ben Simmons is not playing. So come sit down, because you're not giving. Ben Simmons gave you 4 points in the last 3 fourth quarters, and he's still playing. He's still in the fourth quarter rotation. Come sit down. I can give a damn. We paying you how much? I'm trying to win.
I hear that, and I get that. I respect Doc Rivers' way. It's like, if I've been doing this hard to change, I'm not going to change it. I got faith in my players, and as a player, you should not let your coach down at the end of the day. If your coach is putting that faith and that trust in you, then don't make him look like an ass, like y'all making him look like an ass. Look, you know what I'm saying?
I don't agree with that either.
So at the end of the day, you can definitely, I know he called timeouts, he did those things, but at the end of the day, after having those pep talks, I guarantee you said, let's get it together, guys. Let's figure it out. And maybe they tried to do it and they didn't execute. And so that's why I'm putting a lot of blame on the players, because they got to go out there and get it done. But you know who did get it done? And I was nervous for them last night.
I was.
Because it looked like Brooklyn was going to eliminate them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Giannis, I would say Middleton. It's middle.
Oh.
It's not middle not right now, because Middleton saved the Milwaukee Bucks last night, because it was a point where Brooklyn was getting the momentum and it was about to go left for the Bucks. And Middleton said, hell no. Give me a 3 here. Give me a 2 here. Give me another steal. Give me another bucket here. And he gave them another lead that they didn't give up. And then Giannis took control of the game, being aggressive. I love what he did. He didn't stay outside. He didn't take no 3-pointers.
0.
No, none. And that's what I want to see. Force your other teammates to hit shots. You got to force them to hit shots. They're going to wall the paint, because you've seen it. Brooklyn had the whole goddamn squad in the paint. Whenever Giannis was there, it was like everybody collapse, make everybody else beat me, because they know when he gets down there, he's unstoppable. And as he should know, if I play like this, that could have been your elimination game for Brooklyn instead of your elimination game for you. I don't understand why you don't utilize this more often. I know you don't have a post game like that, but hey, you got to work on it. If you don't want to shoot through, if you don't want to work on a jumper, then work on being able to get easy touches around the rim. And I love what they did. They was able to fight off the late surge by Brooklyn. And now we got a big game 7 that I'm excited about. How do you feel about last night's game?
Well, first and foremost, before we get to that, go Hawks. I need y'all to win, because it make my prediction look good. So let's go Hawks, finish this off tonight in 6. And I was impressed with the Bucks. My boy asked me before the game started, like, how you feel? I said, man, the Bucks gonna lose. I threw all my Milwaukee Bucks stuff away, because I didn't believe no more. Giannis and them, Budenholzer, I didn't believe. So I was actually pleasantly surprised with the way they played. I was happy that Chris Middleton finally stepped up and helped Giannis out. I feel like the more I look at both Giannis and Middleton, I both see them as number 2s. They just high-end number 2s. And that's why KD and the Nets are so good because KD is a real one. James healthy is a real one. Kyrie healthy is a real one. And they playing against two high-end twos. And then Drew Holiday is like a serviceable 3. You feel me?
Shoot, man, he may be a 4.
Or 4, depending on where he at. So this game 7 on Saturday, correct?
Yes.
This game 7 on Saturday evening is gonna be lit. It's gonna be live. I'm expecting a lot of emotion left on that court. I want the Bucks to win because again, then I'm right, and I like to be right, and that's what I'm looking at. But I'm looking for a competitive game, and this is one of those legacy defining games. You feel me, for Giannis?
For both, I think it's for both at the end of the day. Because if KD loses Game 7 in Brooklyn, this is big for both of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, so now when we looking at it, it goes to KD can't carry without a superstar squad, and Giannis just can't get over the hump. This is interesting.
It's going to be a big Game 7, man. This is really, I wouldn't say superstar squad. I just, with others, with role players, right? And it's hard. I would say the one thing that LeBron got over KD until KD shows it is that
he can really carry.
He took a team that nobody thought that would ever make the NBA Finals. And even though they got swept by Golden State, they still had a chance to win one of those games when he put up 55 points and J.R. Smith for Henny J.R. That's what we call him, Henny J.R. He blew that lead. Until I see that from KD, he still got a lot to prove. He still got, you got to think about it. His team is stacked. He has a stacked team. Even though Kyrie's hurt, and James Harden is still recovering from the hamstring. But if you got them all on the same team, they still stack.
I'm going to ask you this because I'm going to ask Jay the same question. If Brooklyn loses, does James get a pass due to his hamstring?
I mean, it's part of the game. If he's hurt, he's hurt. He's not 100%. I would like to see him be 100% at the end of the day. 100%.
So would you, does this, because you know what he did to get out of Houston to get to Brooklyn? And for Brooklyn to
karma?
I wouldn't say karma. I'm just saying, does you know how legacies are looked at from the NBA outside world and all that. So him doing everything he could to get out of Houston, get to Brooklyn, and then they possibly go home in the second round. Does he get a pass because of the hammy and he wasn't fully healthy, or it's just yep, can't win with James Harden, obviously, or he's the problem?
Nah, it ain't because he's not healthy. So.
Okay.
You're not going to get a fair shake. It's just what it is.
Because I'm looking at Chris Paul oh, man, Chris Paul healthy for the most part and got the Suns to the Western Conference Finals, champ. You feel me? And when you look at it, these Rockets, I'm just on the surface. I feel like the Rocket teams with Chris Paul and James Harden is better than this Suns team with D Book and Chris Paul. What you think?
I don't think that.
You don't think that they better?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that they're better. I think that the Sun team is a really great team because they got great people. They got a superstar on the rise. They got a great leader, and they got an amazing big man that's coming up, and they got great role players. You don't always need 3 or 4 superstars.
Yeah, but the Rockets had Eric Gordon.
Yeah, but you got an older Eric Gordon. You got an older Eric Gordon, right? You got a Trevor Ariza. I mean, they had a chance to win it. But Chris Paul got hurt. We knew that. Their best chance.
They missed 27 threes too. Though.
But I get that. But Chris Paul didn't play that game 7 too. He was out. So the game changed it.
What about the next year?
It didn't work because of the clash.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I'm interested to see this game 7. It's going to be a big game for Kevin Durant and Giannis because this is a legacy game for both. And then when you think about it, man, if Philly lose to the Hawks.
Man, we can have a Hawks Suns finals. Lit.
It could be. It could be Hawks Suns finals. You never know.
And that'd be a very random finals.
It'd be very random. Or Milwaukee Suns finals. I can definitely see that too. If Milwaukee beats if they beat Brooklyn, it's going to be a tough series, but we're gonna have to wait and see. But we got Game 7, and speaking of another game, possible Game 7.
Playoff Pete.
Yo, Paul George deserves some respect, even though he almost fumbled that bag crazy. And I'll blame it on tiredness. He was tired because he was turning that ball over. He was giving Utah an opportunity. But Reggie Jackson, see, here's the thing.
Body smarter.
This is what I say about players. You got the superstars that's going to be superstars. But every blue moon, you need some role players to make big plays at pivotal times. You don't always need an all-star. You just need somebody to make a play for a spurt. And Reggie Jackson did that. He accepted the moment. He accepted the challenge, and he hit some big shots. And then everybody else followed suit, and then Paul George closed the deal with making a big three-point shot when the Jazz got some momentum. He put the three-point play back, made the free throw, and he did what he needed to do without Kawhi. And what did I tell you? See, a lot of people be disrespecting my takes, man. They said I'd be making bad takes. I said Paul George will go out there and score 30 points because now he's the number one. And what did they say? Paul George ain't never scored 37 points since he left Indiana. And what was he in Indiana?
The number
one. Even when he went to OKC, he was still number two. Russ was still the one option. He just deferred to PG. When he's in Clippers, he's still a number two. Kawhi is the leader. He's just getting deferred to when Kawhi don't want to score right now. When he's the number one, Paul George, he can facilitate. He can get in his bag. He was playing defense. He was doing it all. What he had, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, and then 37 points in Utah. See, it's one thing Kevin Durant did it at their crib. Mm-hmm. He did it in Utah.
Why we can't get this Paul George all the time?
I told you why you can't get the Paul George all the time.
But I feel like the mindset shouldn't change even if you're just a number two.
It does change. For some people, it does. I think it's a mental, like Paul George is not skill-wise. It's a mental-wise. I'm not the number one guy. Everybody's going through Kawhi. So I'm getting my touches when I get my touches.
So based on the Bakes ideology, how can you mentally keep yourself as who? Because this Paul George is capable of being this Paul George all the time. Yes. I think that's why we all get frustrated with him, because we look at games like this and we like, PG, we know you got this in your Duffy. So why we can't have this Duffy? You feel me? Like,
I'm going to tell you why. It's like the Damian Lillard and Chris McCullum all over again.
CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum. I said Chris McCullum. CJ McCollum's all over again. It's the same identical play style between the two. One's just a little bit bigger than the other one. But and I think Paul George taller than Kawhi, in my opinion. But they play the same. They're two similar players, two-way players. They got to have the ball in their hand to create. Paul George can shoot off the pass, but he likes to create. He likes to get in his rhythm. And Kawhi is the very same way. When you are not touching the ball predominantly a lot, it's hard to get in your rhythm. It's hard to get in your bag. It's hard to get in your Duffy. What you saw the other day is that he was in his bag. He was in his Duffy. He was controlling the ball. He had the ball in his hand predominantly majority of the game, and he got to play the way Paul George likes to play. When you got Kawhi on the floor with you, you can't play like that because Kawhi's the guy. They're going to give it to Kawhi 95% of the time, which he deserves that because he shows and he puts up the numbers. But it's hard for you. See, people don't realize it's hard to just turn it on like that. It's hard to turn it on like that. The reason why it worked with KD and Steph and Clay is because those guys can play without the ball in their hands. They can shoot the basketball, and that's why they can move the ball, and they can catch and shoot, create for themselves, and it works fluidly. It doesn't work like that for a lot of players, like the James Hardens and the Kevin Durant. James Harden, yes, he can move without the ball, but he's at his best when the ball is in his hand. Kyrie can shoot off the ball, but he's best when the ball is in his hand. KD is a hybrid. He can do both. Right? And he can do both very, very well. So that's why I think Paul George, you don't see this Paul George. And you saw this when he's the number one.
All right, well, we're going to talk to my man Jay, man, see what he what he got to say about a lot of this stuff going on, man.
Let's go ahead and bring Jay in with this. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see it. Let's see the scenery, how we got it today.
Yeah, because he was sexual seduction.
No, we cleaned it up a little bit. It's got to look better, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better.
Cleaner. It's cleaner.
Still dark. You still dark up in there.
Hey, man, I didn't know how to get the blinds, man. I got to do something.
If you wasn't light skinned, we probably wouldn't see you. No shade to my I'm just telling you. If you wasn't light skinned, you would be looking dark. And it's not wrong with that. That's just you got darker melanin than us. That's all.
Hey, Jay, what's the temperature like out there in the Bay Area,
bro? It is burning up, man. And I'm on the 3rd floor too. You know, this heat is rising. I got a like a tri home thing. And yeah, it's crazy.
Wait. Did he just say burning up in San Francisco?
Bro, it's hot, man. It's over 100 something, man.
100 and something in San Francisco?
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is it at right now?
Wait, I've never heard it be 100 in San Fran.
I have.
It's 95 right now. It was like 103 yesterday.
And y'all bottle water?
Bro, I'm in San Jose. So
okay, yeah.
About 45 minutes south. All
right. I was about to say, because that's like LA. It's not hot in LA. It's not that hot in LA.
Yeah.
But I think so. We got a lot to talk about, Jay. We got Paul George, who showed up, and he's now a different playoff P. Why, like Reese's asked me, why haven't we seen this Paul George throughout the playoffs?
Or not even just the playoffs, Jay, just to echo Bay, why we can't get this PG consistently. I mean, we don't need 37-17, obviously, but you know what I mean, like who he is, because we all believe he has this.
Yeah.
So why we can't get it all the time?
Well, you know, I shot y'all a text. I'm like, it reminds me of the indie Paul George. And for me, I'm sitting here like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure y'all played sports in whatever capacity. So, you know, reasons I know you football. I don't know what your background is, Bake, but when you have no expectations and you don't feel that weight, you know, some people are front runners. And with Paul George, I just saw the weight lifted, and I feel like it's because there was no expectations. We dove into it before the game, and I don't think he was necessarily vibing with me on it, Bake. But when all it requires is max effort and the results don't necessarily matter because Kawhi's out and ain't nobody going to light you on fire, it makes it easy to go out there and give the max effort. There's no expectations. So that's my short and sweet on it. I was happy to see it. And I think that it also goes back to one of the fundamental things that y'all keep hearing me talk about, which is roster composition. And if you could pick one perfect teammate for Paul George, it wouldn't be Kawhi Leonard. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I would just start there. And, you know, that's just my
But they wanted to play with each other, though, Jay.
They did want to. But Dwayne Wade and LeBron James wanted to play together. You know, that don't necessarily make them a good fit, you know?
And they won 2 chips, so it was good enough.
They did. They should have won 3 or 4, though. And it took them that first year to really gel, and then they had the right pieces around it. And LeBron is a little bit more facilitating in nature, so they eventually figured it out. But these two, I like what I'm seeing from PG, because PG was doing what I touched on when I was saying, well, what am I looking to see, and him looking to get the rest of those guys involved.
So my next question.
Before we go to the next question, I'm gonna just say this. I don't think it. Again, I'm gonna say this sentiment about expectations, because I think the expectations and Paul George, knowing Paul George, is that I'm gonna go out there and dominate. I'm gonna go out there and show people who I am. Again, like I told Reasons, when you have another guy that plays similar to you, but he's the one and you're the two, it's hard for you to get in your rhythm. It's hard for you to get it going, because it's like, I'm not getting the touches in other facets. It's like, okay, I'm chilling. It's Kawhi's turn. All right, now it's my turn. Now it's Kawhi's turn. If Kawhi got it going for 10 buckets, he going to get the ball for 10 straight times and he going to shoot. Now, eventually, if he get tired, then it's like, give me the ball and I got to create.
Let's compound it, right? Because when you go out there, it doesn't matter if it's YMCA. there's always an alpha out there, right? Somebody who's saying, give me the rock. And then there's somebody who, kind of follows suit. Now, let's multiply that and you get to a guy who's always been an alpha all the way through Indy. And then I'm not even sure Russell Westbrook even counted because he was deferring. So now you get to the biggest stage with the Clippers, and now it's like stepping on toes. And all of a sudden you're the number 2 and you ain't never dealt with that before. And it's like, well, is it your turn, my turn? Do I defer here? How do I get loose and how do I do me? Right. And he's a guy that when he's thinking these thoughts, everybody can see it all over throughout, and dissect it. So
1,000%. I would have definitely agreed to that. And like I said, it's good to see Paul George. And I know he want Kawhi Leonard to get right and get healthy, but this is an opportunity for Paul George at the end of the day. Like no Kawhi Leonard. This is a prime opportunity to show who he is, to display his talent, to put his name on a map. And maybe people may be saying, do we need Kawhi Leonard if we got Paul George?
So, Jay, my question is on a scale of 1 to 10, so I don't need you to be halfway doing it. Need a number. What would you put the Clippers' pressure of closing out Game 6 tonight? Where is that pressure meter at with everything that's on the line?
So before Game 6, the pressure meter was at a 10 with a full roster. Then it went to 1, maybe a 2, because Kawhi's not there and Paul George was playing free. Mm-hmm. But now you done shown Steve Ballmer, okay, we can do this. He's over here getting a little excited. And so that pressure meter then went back up to at least a 6, maybe a 7. Ballmer's still going to get credit. He ain't walking away from this season. If they lose, it's not a complete loss. He showed out for Ballmer. And so I think it bumps back up to a 6 or a 7.
Okay. I'm going to go a 9.
I'm at a 10.
I'm going 9 because see, here's my thing. I'm not going to give no passes to Paul George because I know his level of competitiveness. I know his skill set. And for me, and I take it, if I'm Paul George, I take it as a sign of disrespect that you saying that, hey, there's no pressure now and we can just lose because we don't have Kawhi. Like, I don't mean nothing. Like, I'm not on this team. Like, I can't help us win this game. Mm-hmm. And so I think Paul George took that personally when he went to Utah because nobody gave that man a chance that he was going to go in there. And maybe they thought he would put on a good performance, but they didn't think he would win the game without Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, and I think this is an opportunity for him to say, look, man, Kawhi's great. No disrespect to him, but I'm great too. And you better put some damn respect on my name. So I think it's a lot of pressure for him now to show people like, hey, Kawhi's great, but I can help us get over that hump too. If Paul George, let me say this right now. If Paul George wins tonight and sends the Clippers to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in franchise history, there could be some trouble in LA. I promise you that, especially this being Kawhi Leonard player option. If Bomber sees like, do we really need Kawhi? Because look at PG out here hoping, and we winning. Maybe we could get some more players. We don't want Kawhi.
So Jay, Kawhi opting in and Bomber trading him?
Yeah, I don't see that, but it actually has some merit to it because now Ballmer, who's the shot caller, is going to look at Kawhi and his load management demands, and he's going to start looking at Kawhi slightly different if Paul can assert himself and say, okay, well, how is this shit going to be run? So I see where he's going with it. I wouldn't necessarily put that as the trajectory right now, but we'll see after the game happens. I mean, I just think that there's also a human psychology to this. Is still Game 6, right? It's still not a Game 7. So Paul George, I think, feels like he did something, and he might call me crazy. I think he might feel like like I can take my foot off the gas a little bit. And if he does, and Donovan Mitchell specifically happens to stomp on that ass, then game 7 goes right back up to a 10. So.
So I shot you the text, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about Glenn Rivers and the 76ers?
Bro, he's I've been said he's just he can be a leader as far as a player's coach, but I don't he's not an X's and O's guy, and he don't make adjustments. And his track record over the last 10 years proves that he's got a problem in making adjustments. And it's really bizarre, because when you're an accomplished player and then he's still living on 2008, and I don't understand, it's 13, 14 years later, how long, somebody becomes a made man and they could just never do no wrong. I don't.
Jay, man, you are the light. I appreciate you so much, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that through the Bake, and Bake is saying it's the players. But at some point, when you are historically blowing leads, whether they're on the court or in series, at some point it has to be you. Jay, last show you said in an addiction, what's the first step?
Admitting you got a problem.
Admitting you got a problem. Doc Rivers walks into the mirror like, it ain't me. It's these dudes. He is never admitting that he has a problem. He is Mr. 3-1 blown lead, and he is Mr. 20. Listen, all I know is if I'm playing against Doc Rivers, they go up 20, I still got a shot. I know I got a shot. Yeah. I know it's like, we playing Doc Rivers' team. We can come back.
Yeah. I agree.
Hey, look, Jay, Bake gave Doc Rivers 15% of the blame. 15.
Oh, no. He's I give him 40.
Wow.
40, maybe 50.
Wow.
I give Ben Simmons a good, healthy 30%. And I'll put the rest on Daryl Morey might take some of Doc Rivers, because you got to set him up for success too.
Him and Brand, so Daryl Morey and Brand can split a piece of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm disgusted between you two.
Disgusted?
I'm disgusted between you two.
Wait. So explain to me how Doc Rivers got stamped. Who stamped Doc Rivers?
Let me go ahead and say I am disgusted by you two. It's crazy to me. See, y'all are those players. I can tell. You're the players that's like, oh, everything's good. We out here killing it. And then soon things start getting hot. It's the coach's fault. Coach didn't let me do this. Coach said this. Coach said that. When you was up by 30, everything Gucci. Everything Gucci. But soon things get a little rocky. Oh, no. See, that's my problem with y'all. Is that, and this is my thing with Philly as well. The players took no ownership for the failure to complete the game. Doc Rivers put you in position to go up by 29 points. If you follow the protocol, if you follow what it's doing that's working, then you shouldn't have an issue. And
there's something wrong with what you just said.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
What he was doing put you up by 30. So all of a sudden, all you got to do is continue to finish the game out. What happened with Philly, if you see from the game, they got lackadaisical. They played lethargic. They took their foot off the pedal, and they thought it was over. They was like, it's done. It's done. And I get it. You're going to say it's the coach's fault. So when he called times out and he making substitutions and he putting people in the game to, quote unquote, make those plays, and they don't make those plays, who fault is that? Don't be Frank Vogel when you just putting out random mother uckers out there that don't know what the hell they doing, and you praying and hoping for something to happen, because you're not getting that either. So at the end of the day, Doc Rivers said, I'm going to live by the sword, I'm going to die by the sword. It works if you just execute. We was up both games. When you do what you're supposed to do, we win the games. When you start bull crapping, playing outside of your elements, doing things that you ain't supposed to do, playing sloppy, then we're going to lose. I can't control that for you. I can't control Tobias Harris scoring 4 points, not even scoring an attempt in the second half. I'm putting you in a position to make plays. I'm calling plays for you. I can't control you I can't score the basketball for you. I can't control Ben Simmons going 4 for 14 from the free throw line. I can't shoot the free throws for you. That is on him. I can't control Embiid missing 2 free throws down by 3 with 20 seconds left in the game. That is on you. And none of the players said, I'm to blame. I take full responsibility. Joel Embiid didn't even do a press.
He was mad.
I don't give a goddamn how mad you is. If you can do it when you're winning, why the hell you can't say, that's on me? If you're the leader of your team, that's on me. Doc put a lot of responsibility and respect on us. That's on me. We let the foot off the gas. We gave Atlanta life, just like we gave them life in Atlanta. And now they're in the possibility of losing again.
Mm-hmm. Well, to quote my man Shannon Sharp, Shannon Sharp, I need you to keep that same energy. And when you want to give Doc Rivers the credit, and that's I think I heard you right. Tell me if I heard that right, Reasons, when he said he gets the credit for being up 29. That means that you deserve the blame when you cough it up. And I just fundamentally believe that if you're pulling the strings, you have some accountability, and it's never going to go below 30% on setting the player up. If Ben Simmons can't shoot, how do you maximize that?
They took him out the game.
Yeah.
They took him out the game. They substitute offense for defense. So what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? He took the guy off the court. He was a liability on offense. And
that was when it already started getting tight. That was when the butts was already started getting tight.
Okay, all right, let me ask you this. All right, I'm gonna ask you both of y'all this, okay?
We're here to listen.
If you're in a relationship,
oh, okay.
All right. If you're in a relationship, when it gets tight, are you just gonna jump ship and say, all right, we need to do this, do that, do this? Or are you gonna let things fizzle out, see what's actually going on? How can you address some things and then make those adjustments? He gave them an opportunity. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. We couldn't figure it out. He said, well, Ben, you're not helping us on the offensive end. Let's substitute you. Then we're going to put you back on the defensive end. What do you want him to do?
I got you. If I'm in a relationship and I keep blowing leads, I got to somehow start looking at myself and start figuring out, what am I doing to not keep that energy that we had? You said you gave me 4 points, babe. You said the Sixers are playing lethargic, right? You said they took their foot off the net. They start playing sloppy, and you had one more. I can't remember. Lethargic, foot off the neck, sloppy. That is all coaching etiquette.
No.
All coaching etiquette. It's not that. He doesn't listen. Hold up. It's not the fact that he's out there playing and all that kind of stuff. Because I get it. The players are the ones who are being sloppy, right? The players are the ones who are being lethargic. But at some point, the good old boy, I'ma just call timeout. No, you got to start really coming at these dudes a certain way, and not disrespectfully, but a real fire has to be lit in somebody ASS. You feel me? Because I told you, when the league goes from 26 to 19, Jay, it don't seem that bad, right? Mm-hmm. When the league goes from 19 to 12, it don't seem that bad. But psychologically, you have to realize that the lead has technically went from 26 to 12. The lead has technically went from 26 to 8. The lead has technically went from 26 to your ass is losing. Yeah. So you allowed, as a coach, for your team to continue to be lethargic. Your team to continue to not have their foot on their neck. No, you can't allow that. Have you ever seen, you've been watching basketball long enough, Bake, in the playoffs, I ain't really seen too many Greg Popovich teams. I ain't really seen too many Phil Jackson teams blow 20-point leads consecutively in consecutive playoffs. Don't see that happening. And what Jay said was, we stamped Doc Rivers as this coach. Because I agree with Jay. We stamped him as this guy, this He's one of the top level coaches in all of NBA history for 2008. And with that goddamn team, you shouldn't lose because you had KG, you had Paul Pierce, you had Ray Allen, and you had Rondo. So Doc Rivers didn't have to do much coaching outside of AKG, cuss them out. Because when the rubber hit the road, you knew who was going to get in somebody's ass. Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett wasn't going to happen like that. And Doc Rivers, because when he doesn't have those kind of players, he lacks at being that guy to make sure his team goes above and beyond. Jay, you can stop me when you feel like I've said something wrong.
No. I mean, I'm with you. And I went back because I didn't know we was going to be diving into that game so much. So I pulled up the box scores. And I'm sitting here. The only thing that really jumps out to me is how did Korkmaz get 30 minutes when he went 2 for 7 and scored 8 points? 30 minutes. Mind you, Maxey had 1 minute and Thibault had 24. So that seems to, and meanwhile, Lou Will, Trey Young going for 40. I mean, you could have, at least Maxey. But at a minimum, you give those minutes to Thibault. So that's the only thing that jumped out to me on the box score. But yeah, no, Doc Rivers is a people person. He can smooth over some personalities. He got a championship in 2008. But I don't understand where all this love is coming from, babe.
Are we done? Because I got to set the record straight.
Okay, do it.
At the end of the day, I can give you all the points. I can give you all the X's and O's, but you got to want to execute out there.
Yeah.
I can't make you want it more than I want it. And that's the part that y'all not understanding. Y'all said Doc Rivers, should have, boo-boo. We don't know what he said in those damn meetings. We don't know what he said in those timeouts. All we doing is judging based off the player's mindset. I can't control how a player takes my criticism, takes my input, takes my whatever. I can't control that at the end of the day. You got to go out there and do it. And that's the difference between the Kevin Garnett's when he was another floor leader, he was another coach on the floor where he didn't allow his team to be soft. He didn't allow his team to give up big leads. He didn't allow his team to lose games that they had in the bad. That's where you need a leader on the floor. They don't have that right now.
You're right. Okay, so let me go one other way here, Bake. So what is Ben Simmons' accountability in this loss? What is his percentage at?
Ben Simmons is at 65% of the damn accountability. The man only scored 4 points in the damn last 3 games. He only had, 12 points in 3 games.
And so my question to you is, did they know this at the beginning of the year?
At the beginning of the year?
Did they know that Ben Simmons is going to need to get subbed out for offensive, defensive situations? Did they know that at the beginning of the season? Did they know that he was an offensive liability and he wasn't full?
Ben Simmons ain't even getting his regular season average. Ben Simmons is a 15 damn near 9 type of guy. He ain't even getting you 15 points. He's not even giving you that.
Did he do anything in the playoffs last year or the year before that to tell you different?
He was hurt. The year before that, he was balling. Look at the numbers. Look at the stats. He did his thing. They just played against a tough Kawhi Leonard. You said what? What reason?
They had Jimmy Buckets that year too.
And they had Jimmy Buckets as well too, who was a leader. The Philadelphia 76ers don't have a leader. Somebody's going to take accountability to say, we need to tighten this shit up. Excuse my language. We need to tighten it up. But we don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm just letting y'all know, y'all got to understand, these are grown men, okay? Yeah. These are grown men. Grown men. I can tell you, hey, you should be doing this. But when you want to go out there and do what you want to do to your girl, that's on you at the end of the day. If you want to listen, you can listen. If you want to do your own thing, that's on you.
So I'm with you. I'm with you, and I don't escape accountability. That's one of my core values. But here's what I will say. At the trade deadline, Doc Rivers, Elton Brand, and Daryl Morey knew Ben Simmons ain't improved a lick on his perimeter offensive game. And for them to walk right past that trade deadline and do nothing, snub their nose at every offseason offer and say he's a franchise pillar, and then to expect some growth, expect something new. You don't meet a dude and expect him to grow. You got to meet him and be happy with him off the man he is today. And if he grows a little something, that's extra. That's the cherry on the top. Ben Simmons, you knew what he was. And
look, okay, I get all that. But at the end of the day, they've been winning, and they was up 20-some points. They've been dominating Atlanta. If you really look at the game, they've been dominating besides that game one. All the other games, they dominated. The games wasn't even supposed to be that close if they just finish and close out the deal. So you can say whatever you want about Ben Simmons. I'm mad at him because he's not taking the challenge to put himself on that stratosphere to be the prince of the NBA, whatever LeBron James called him. But at the end of the day, they're still up about 29, damn near 30 points. That is a mental thing that they got to adjust. And I think they're going to adjust tonight. I think they'll win in Atlanta, and then I think they'll win in Philly. And
one last comment, though. We chastise Giannis for taking bad shots. I can't in one breath light Giannis on fire for walking into charges, taking dumbass shots from the free throw line and the three-pointer, and then turn around and clown Ben Simmons or attack him for doing something that he's not comfortable doing. So, I mean, I'm on one side of the fence.
What do you mean?
Giannis, we chastise him for shooting threes.
Oh, yeah,
we chastise him for taking those dumbass shots when you should be living in the paint.
So why are we chastising Ben Simmons?
Because he at least, you know what, him not doing nothing is at least not.
No, that's actually worse.
To me, that's
actually worse.
That's only why I had to disagree. I feel like him not. If I look at the box scores, Jay, and I see Ben Simmons went 2 for 13 from the field, I'm like, well, at least the man tried. When I look at the box scores and I see that he went 2 for 4, you played 38 minutes, Jay.
Yeah.
And you took 4 shots as the second guy, number 2. That's just like us, for example, looking at Chris Middleton and say, Chris Middleton, you played 38 minutes, bro. You took 4 shots. We can't have that. So if we go down the list of every number 2 on every single team, 4 shots in a playoff game is unacceptable. At least die on your, as Bake said, at least die on your sword. Give me 13, 14 shots. It could have just been all layups, and he could have missed all of them. But I need to at least see that you care enough. And it goes back to, like you said, the accountability. And Jay, me and you agree to this. Ben Simmons snuffs at the accountability. He walks around like there is no problem. Yeah. And to me, that's the problem because he doesn't think there is a problem. So, you know.
But speaking of Giannis, how do you feel about his performance last night? He didn't take not one three-pointer. All them shots we said that was stupid, he didn't take one. He lived in the post, and he got some much-needed support from Middleton. Because I think if Middleton wasn't going off, they would have lost to Brooklyn and Milwaukee. But how do you feel about his performance moving forward and going into Game 7?
In a vacuum, he played exactly how he should have played. It actually made me more mad and frustrated because they threw away the previous game, then they threw away Game 2, not coming out with that kind of intensity and that kind of common sense. And so it was actually frustrating for me because I look at it in the macro and I'm like, dude, bro, why are we in a Game 7? We shouldn't even been there. So Game 6, yep, absolutely. I sign off on that one. I liked it. I liked his aggression. I liked his mentality, and he needs to do it again.
So what's your prediction for 7? Who wins and why? And what is it going to take?
Bro, I got to go against this whole hot take thing that I'm trying to be, because when I look at this, if you told me aliens came down and just ended somebody's season, I wouldn't be surprised. This game is the Bucks should win. And if you had a gun in my head and I had to put money on it, I would say the Bucks is going to do the same thing because they just outgun. Brooklyn is just limping around, can't do nothing. So I'm going to say Bucks, but I'm keeping the hot takes completely out of this one because I can't bet on Budenholzer. I can't bet on Giannis. I'm out.
Well, I know you scared, but I'm going to take a chance and say Kevin Durant would do everything in his power to win Game 7. And they're going to win Game 7 in a close game.
Did you pick the Nets to win the series?
I picked the Nets.
Okay. Well, then, I mean, that makes sense. You got to stick with your two picks.
I picked the Nets. I picked the Nets is going to win the series. And that was
how is this going to happen, though? Expound on that one for me.
I'm going to tell you right now, role players play better at home. Simple as that. We saw Jeff Green come out here and score 27 at the crib. Jeff Green was nowhere to be found in Milwaukee, okay? The Bucks was all over that. He wasn't making no shot. But when they go home, it just hit different. Role players play different on the road.
You sending out that APB for Joe Harris?
You know what? I haven't seen a lot from Joe Harris. And
that's the point.
And my thing is, no, I get that, but you got to understand is that I don't think Joe Harris is getting open looks, though. He's not getting a lot of those good looks like a Jeff Green is getting. So you got to think about it. The shots that he's getting are tough contested shots. I don't care how good your jump shooting is. If you're not like that.
He's been missing some. He's been missing some wide open ones too. And
so who's he playing on defense?
Pick one. I've seen him on Middleton a lot.
All right. So Middleton is getting a high percentage of the Bucks' points. Correct?
Obviously. But
so if you playing defense on a person that's moving around and his ball is in his hand predominantly a lot of the times, it's going to impact your shooting. Joe Harris is not he's not a dribble, create, pull up. No, he's coming off screens, moving around, get that extra pass, split gap. But now if I'm playing defense, I'm going to struggle on the offensive end because now my legs are a little bit tired. And even though I'm open, it's called tiredness. It's called, I'm not getting the same lift on my legs right now.
Here's the problem. Here's my problem is I need you to have the same energy. You over here lighting Ben Simmons on fire for not doing something he ain't comfortable with. And I'm looking at Joe Harris and his $17 million salary and the fact that the Brooklyn Nets is playing 5.5 people. And I'm watching him go 1 for 4 on 3-pointers when that's supposed to be your bread and butter. And we need we need mediocre plus defender, and then we need somebody to earn that $17 million on offense like the 3-point champ you
are.
Look, so
I'm not
same energy.
Look, I'm not giving Joe Harris no Ben Simmons treatment because they're not even on the same when you talk about Prethler. Like Joe Harris is a shooter. He's a shooter. Come in, get you some buckets here and there. That's what his job is. But now he's playing defense. And if you notice, every shooter that's not really accustomed to playing defense, they struggle on the offensive end because their legs are tired. They're not used to doing all that stuff in the regular season. It looks sweet in the regular season. It looks easy in the regular season. But in the postseason, it's a little bit different. You've seen it with Miami. All them shooters, right? Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. What did they struggle with? Shooting. That is their job. You know why? Because they was playing defense. When you're playing defense, when you're moving a lot, you're not going to have those same legs in the regular season that you do in the postseason. You're not getting as much rest, and people are playing more intense. So them shots is a little bit more tougher. Now, when you talk about Ben Simmons is the number 2 guy. Joe Harris is probably number 4, maybe 5, maybe.
Hey, on this team, he's number 2, dog. On this team, no Kyrie, no Harden.
What do you mean? James Harden played.
Come on, man. A Harden ain't the number 2 on this team right now on half a leg.
Did you see how many points he had?
What did he have? 20? Something like that. 15?
Okay. He's playing good enough for me. So he's not the number. He's number 3 right now. If they're all healthy, he's like number 4 or 5. I'm going by that. So if you're the number 2 guy, when he's the number 2 guy, I'm not gonna say I would like for him to play better, but at the end of the day, I understand why, because I know basketball. I know how hard it is to play deep, right? You feel me, right? You feel
defense, having to be accountable on defense makes 1 for 4, 1 for 7, 2 for 6, 1 for 7, and 3 for 7. Okay, and really 4 out of those last 5 games. I mean, 1 for 11, 2 for 11, 3 for 8. Are these?
Tell me, have you hooped before, right, Jay?
I do, yeah.
Hey, all right. So when you playing intensive defense, I don't know if you ever stick somebody so crazy that's going to get the ball majority of the time. When you get on the offense, and I think that's what's hurting Drew Holiday. I think that's why he's struggling, because he's playing defense and his offense is struggling because his legs are not there. He's shooting 1 for 9, 1 for damn near 6. He's struggling from the three-point line tremendously because he's like giving all his energy on the other side of the ball. He's trying his hardest to prevent him. Those shots are not going to be the same. I get what you're saying. You're looking at the 10.
He ain't shooting off the dribble. He's running around off the screens and stuff, and he's trying to do his poor man's Klay Thompson. But still, no, that's not an exemption, bro.
Right. You ain't got to give an exemption, but I would like to see you out there play some tough defense, and then I would like to see your offensive numbers.
I'm not.
I would like you even just run 100%, do some sprints, suicide, and then take 10 shots. Let's see your percentage after those 10 shots when you wide open.
Hey, we're going to have a day soon. I'm coming down south, man. We're going to have a day, and I'll show you that.
I want to see it. I want you to go 110%, and then you're going to come and shoot some jumpers. We're going to see your percentage out of 10 shots. And then I want that same energy. I don't want to be like, yo, Brink, I ain't shot a basketball in years, man. It's different. No, I want that same energy. Yeah. And no, this is what we'll do. I have you take 10 shots before you start running, and then we'll take 10 shots after. We see what was better. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Save that. Timestamp that one.
Well, as we getting up out of here, Kemba Walker on his walker to OKC. I'm good. You know, I'm good. Man, Kemba Walker just got traded for some Sour Patch, a Snicker, and a pack of Hot Flames. How y'all feel about this as we conclude this show? Because I look at it like it helps OKC because now Shea moves more to the 2, kind of like how he was with Chris Paul. And Kemba, hopefully he can get his knee rejuvenated to where he can become Kemba. But I feel like it does nothing for Boston. Boston is still, let me see, Sixers. Boston is still like 6th in the East. Unless they do something more dramatic this offseason. And so that's how I looked at it. I feel like this was just a trade to get rid of Kemba because it ain't like they freed up money because I know my man Jay is Mr. Cap. So I always defer to my man Jay when it comes to this cap situation stuff. So to me, it does nothing for neither team. I just feel like they would rather get Kemba out of there than to have him.
Yeah,
and it sucks for the new coach because maybe the new coach had plans for Kemba, but he's gone.
Nah, go ahead, babe.
I'm gonna just call it a spade. Look, man, it didn't work out. I think Boston is about to do some major changes in the offseason. I think a lot of people are going to be moving, and they're going to be trading some folks to free up some space. The biggest question is what they're going to do with Jaylen Brown and Tatum. I think they're deciding to go with their 2 dogs and try to put some role players around them. And Kemba just didn't fit. It didn't work, and it is what it is. And it sucks that he got to go to OKC because now Kemba going to be getting you buckets again and not winning anything. And it's just going to be one of those guys. But that's what I feel. I don't think it was nothing against Kemba. It's just being honest. We all said it. It didn't work for all 3 of them. It didn't work for them. And so even though they traded him for nickels and pennies, at the end of the day, that's showing me that Boston's about to make some big moves over this offseason, and they're about to make some changes, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I'm always excited when I can see it because Danny Ainge wasn't trying to make this. If he wasn't ripping nobody off, he wasn't trying to talk to nobody. And so with this one, there was a misconception, and they didn't factor in Tatum's exponential growth, Jaylen Brown being all NBA or close to it, looking like it. And when they went from IT to Kyrie, there was this misconception they needed another point guard, when really Marcus Smart is all the point guard you need when the ball's going to always be in Tatum and Jaylen Brown's hands. So the fact that they cut their loss because, Kemba was going to kill them for 2 more years at like $35 million. They saved $10 million a year, but Horford can school and bring along Robert Williams. He was showing out a little bit, and so now, maybe defensive awareness, what have you, but Horford can bring some of the OG vet, some stretch 5, just cut your loss, count on Tatum and Brown to grow and create some more flexibility. So some parts would be a little bit more fungible. This Moses Brown character was like a lightweight Rudy Gobert. He had like 15 to 20 rebound games down the stretch. So he's not going to really be the piece of the trade that makes this thing go. But bro, I got to admit, Philly and the Bucks next year, they're so much weaker than I thought. And I'm like, man, Boston has some action. You said 6, man. I'm thinking like they got action at that 2 or 3 spot in the East next year.
Listen, I can't put Boston ahead of Atlanta because Atlanta is just getting better and better. And now my man Cam Reddish is healthy and can play. You feel me? Remember, Atlanta's been playing this series. We've been talking about Embiid injury.
Not put Cam Reddish in this game. Do not play him.
I'm not saying play him. I'm not saying
that's a lot to put on somebody.
Yeah. I'm just saying as far as going forward. And we got to also think the Hawks been playing without DeAndre Hunter, who was a big part of a lot of their success. So when you're looking at the trajectory of this young Hawks team, I feel like right now they're a better team than Boston. Boston got the better 2 players, but they're a better team than Boston.
Well, reasons what I want you to pay attention to tonight, and I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong on this one, but putting a team down is next level. And the Knicks is one thing, but to put Philly down when you got your foot on their neck, it's especially as a jump shooting team. I'm excited to see it. And Trey Young could be so cold that he blows right past this midterm here before they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I wouldn't be surprised if they fold at some point in this game because they succumb to their own pressure. That's just an observation.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. We got some big games tonight. It'd be crazy if we got 3 Game 7s in the second round. That'd be pretty good for the NBA. And that'd definitely be good for Phoenix because Chris Paul needs time. Anyway, man, we're about to get up out of here, man. Always remember to stay safe, stay blessed. What you got to say, baby Jack, before we get up out of here? Yeah, that's what he said. Anyway, we love y'all. Always remember to talk that talk. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and enjoy your weekend, man. Peace.